Within this course, I'm going to be introducing you to CSS. So what is CSS and what does it do? CSS essentially is the presentation layer of any website. So as we can see here, I have some default HTML code and I don't have any CSS applied to it. So throughout this course, we're going to walk through how we can apply CSS to HTML code in order to make it stand out and apply styling to really bring out that website feel and effect to our standard HTML code. So we're going to be using a combination of editors. One of them is an online editor at CodePen.io. So we're going to be working with this. We can see here that we have the ability to type in code such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and have it automatically apply to the display area on the right hand side. So this is one of the reasons that I'm going to be using CodePen is because we can immediately see the results. So if I was to apply some styling to the particular paragraph, so I'm just going to turn it blue. We can see that it immediately shows up as blue as soon as I add in the styling. So this is going to work in the same way as if we had a CSS style sheet attached to our HTML document. And if you're not familiar with those, we're going to talk about those throughout the course as well. So we're going to introduce you to how to add styling and connect it to your HTML code. So the other editor that we're going to be using is called Brackets. So this is an open source Adobe editor, and this is going to be a really effective editor. It's got predefined coding built right into it. So if you do want to add in some styling or some CSS, it does have some really powerful capabilities. So we're going to be walking you through CSS and as well showing you how to do that and apply it within Brackets. So I've got that typical web page here. I don't have any CSS applied to it, although I am linked to a CSS style sheet. And as well, we're going to talk about this throughout the course as well and all the different ways that you can bring CSS into your HTML code. So here we just have typical HTML, opening, closing tags, bunch of elements. We've already applied some classes, some IDs to that, and as well we're going to be discussing that within this course and why we've got IDs and classes, why we need them, and why we're applying them within our HTML. So we've got a typical menu here, and even when we go out to the site, it doesn't really look like those menu bars that you see on websites, and all of this again is done through CSS. So we're going to be applying styling to all of these elements, and as we go through the course, I'm going to be showing you all the really different cool things that you can do with CSS to really bring out your presentation of your web code. So that's all coming up in the upcoming lessons, and as well I also do encourage you to follow along. So if you don't have a text editor, you can use any editor that can save CSS files. CSS, HTML, and JavaScript will run within your browser, so you don't necessarily need to have a virtual machine running or what I've got here in the back where I go to localhost. So you don't need to have that running in order to be able to browse and see the effects of CSS. And especially if you're working online, it's immediate and you don't need any special tools to be able to see and implement the CSS. So any editor, and if you don't have an editor, Brackets is a really good one. So this is available at Brackets.io. So I'll be providing some links to these resources as well. And as we can see, it's an Adobe product. It's by Adobe, or Extract Preview is by Adobe. So this is quite a lot of functionality in this text editor. It's an open source text editor. So again, you can just go over to the website and download it if you don't have an editor, or if you want to follow along with the same editor that I'm using. So when you're ready, let's begin adding some styling to this plain old HTML page and bring it to life.